7:24 on Morning Live, and summer vacation, you know, just around the corner. A lot of parents are going to be sending their little ones off to summer camp. Multiple Mayhem mama Samantha Kemp Jackson is here with some tips on how to make it stress-free, because you know you're going to get, in some cases, that homesickness call.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I want to come home.
You're going to get that. So on the heels of that, the first thing that you need to do is really prepare them about what they're going to see when they're going to camp. So if your child has never been to camp before, make sure that you talk to them about what the experience is going to be like and what they can expect when they're there.
Okay, great. And you've got some great ideas to pack along to kind of, let's start off with the photo and the blanket here, because this is kind of to help stave off that homesickness.
It's to help the child. So, you know, we might be talking about a child who's maybe 7 years old, 8 years old. It's their first time away from home, and you want to give them those comforts of home. So, you know, giving them a special blanket or something that they sleep with often at home, that really helps them. A picture of the family, a picture of their dog, their pet, something that really can help them relate back to home.
Okay, it might even be their favorite PJs or something like that, right?
Something that's reminiscent of home, and that'll give them that comfort.
And comforting, okay.
Yes.
And you also want them to be comfortable when it's, you know, they're going to be outside maybe more than they would be at home.
Absolutely.
So early in the morning, later at night, it gets cold.
It gets cold, and you know, people think about summer camp, and kids get really excited. They think, oh, I'm going to be swimming, I'm going to be playing.
I'm going to be in my bathing suit for 24 hours.
I'm in my bathing suit, I'm going to be in my t-shirts, which is great, but sometimes we don't remember that if we're, you know, up north or if we're in a further distance away, it gets really, really cool at night. So make sure that you pack them up with a pair of jeans, at least a couple of sweaters, and some long sleeve shirts so that they're not cold.
Okay, probably a good idea to have like older clothes, right? So if they leave it there, or if it gets really muddy, or...
Yeah, they don't have to be new. Go to a co-op or go and get some gently used clothes and send them along with the kids.
Okay, and it might rain.
And it might rain. So, you know, with the requisite hiking boots, that's great, but don't forget the rain boots, because, you know, if it's slushy and they get wet feet and they come home with a chest cold, mom or dad is not going to be happy.
I really like these, actually.
Another thing to remember, these are water shoes.
Okay.
Annette, so what you want to remember is that they're going to be going into lakes, ponds, and sometimes it's rocky under there. So you don't want them to come home with cuts and bruises on their feet and have their vacation.
Or even splinters from the dock or something
Absolutely.
like that.
So send along some water shoes.
Okay.
Now, in terms of memories, you want to get them to, you know, encourage them to bring back some memories with them. So maybe pack along
a camera.
A camera.
Bring it back.
And a camera. So there are some really inexpensive digital cameras you can send along with your kid. And I know that a lot of children have their own cameras now these days, you know, these kids. So encourage them to send a camera along with them and take some pictures that they can show you about what's happened back home.
Okay, good stuff. Always fun to have a flashlight too, but it's a safety thing.
It's a safety thing, because there's two things. So first of all, when they're out at night, they're often going to be walking through night hikes and such at summer camp, so they can have their own flashlight. But also if they're a little bit afraid of the dark, or perhaps if they're, you know, up late at night, they might want to have that, or they're reading. So, you know, send them along with a couple of flashlights and they're good to go. Also, a large water bottle, a metal one is best because it keeps the water cooler, and then they can have that when they go along on hikes on their summer camp as well.
Right, because a plastic one, the sun could get through it, kind of thing. It's just going to heat it up.
It heats it up.
It's gross.
Now, of course, you know, we're talking about camping, and unfortunately, we're talking about bugs. And depending on what time of the year it is and where you're going, it might get kind of scary. So make sure that you send along some appropriate bug repellent so they really enjoy their vacation. As well, don't forget the sunscreen, because kids are really susceptible to sun, and they don't remember, or they don't think about the fact that they've been out all day, and they could risk getting burnt. So
right, and then the afterbite too, because you know what's going to happen.
You know what's going to happen, and you don't want to get those nasty letters sent home that they've been bitten and upset. Also, a first aid kit. So they don't just take a big one with them, but send them along with just a few things that they have in their knapsack. A few
Band-Aids and stuff for blisters and all that kind of stuff, right?
And then they can, you know, self-regulate themselves and feel that they're in control of the situation.
Okay, good stuff. And, of course, an old backpack or something to put it in.
A knapsack that's a fairly large size, but not too big, so that they're carrying a huge container on their back.
Okay, Samantha, some good tips here. Let's go camping.
Okay, let's.
I'm not a camper. MultipleMayhemMama.com is the website. Samantha, thanks so much for joining us. Some good tips here. And we have more news coming up at 7:30. Stay with us.
Eat your heart out feeling straight. Now, pitching the tent took 4 hours or so, but then...